is eager to
Hey
get
guys,
started.
this is our video
So let's begin.
today. I'm going to try to finish up today.
Hello, driver. I can't wait to get started and show you what a really useful engine I am. First, you will need to use the steps to climb up into Thomas's cab. Welcome to Thomas's cab.
I'm not comparing the
Here, you'll be able to learn the controls needed to drive Thomas. Let's get started by first moving over to the driving position. If you want a better view of your train or the line ahead, you can change between several different external camera views at any time whilst driving. For this introduction, use the controls shown on screen to change to this particular external camera. This is one of several external camera views available to you. You can switch between this view and the internal cab view at any time by pressing either of the controls shown here. Would you like to switch back to the internal cab view or keep using the external camera? To drive Thomas forwards, you will need to use the throttle. Press and hold the control shown on screen to increase the throttle and get Thomas moving. Well done.
Guys, if there's a way to change the throttle, okay, throttle. I want to change throttle. From
You're doing a good job so far. To slow Thomas down, or when you want to come to a stop, you will need to apply the brakes. Use the control shown on screen to apply the brakes and bring Thomas to a stop on the blue marker.
I don't like the So, guys, I wanted to make the video to celebrate 80 years of the railway series and yeah, this video's on this legacy. Guys, but I don't know if this is going to be a part of the 80. Maybe it's going to be 85, maybe? Because guys, there's this thing on Amazon that I'm thinking would have been for the 80, but maybe we're being how today, and yet I still have. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. going to be a part of a streaming service, maybe? Me? I don't know. Guys, I have seen, even though down the mine. Let me comment on something. Even though down the mine pilot episode from Thomas and Friends. You can at least see it, guys. Even though down the mine pilot. Like from 19. You can see it even though one, guys. And I'm gonna comment on it.
Thomas Pitchwater.
I think they mainly use guys.
Was before going, it's a Tom and Clara pleased with himself. Annie and Clarabelle were deeply shocked. They had great respect for Gordon, the big engine.
Guys, so far, even though down the mine pilot, I think for the narration and music,
Thomas left the coaches at the station and went off to a mine for some trucks.
one from the episode down the mine.
Long ago, miners digging for lead had made tunnels under the ground. Though strong enough to hold up trucks, their roofs could not bear the weight of engines.
Yeah. Guys, in case you're wondering.
Silly old board, he thought. He had often tried to pass it and he had never succeeded. But this morning he had made a plan. He had to push the empty trucks into one siding and pull out full ones from another. Come on, waved the fireman. The driver leaned out of the cab to see where they were going. Now, said Thomas to himself.
Guys, I'm still thinking maybe later this year, like maybe in October or something. Guys, I'm really hoping this entire tab of Thomas and Friends comes out. I will keep you up to date on that in future videos. Yes, and also I'm recording 2 videos today. One is going out and be for today. Maybe guys, everyone jumping in on today being the day that I'm recording is on May 12th. Which reminds me, I want to show my father after I'm done with this video. An episode of Thomas and Friends. Yeah, 85. Look back at the first. We all know the story of Thomas, but what does this mean? How Thomas started. How Thomas and Friends started 85 years ago. Unlucky Tug just did a Solar's Finest on Thomas. Unlucky Tug just did Solar's Finest on Thomas. And Victor said no video this week. I bet he doesn't want to celebrate the 85th. Well, guys, I'm sorry for being so quiet earlier on. I just like, that's how I concentrate on videos. On video games, sorry. I meant to say video games, not videos. That's 85. Guys, some of my favorite franchises just turned way old. Like Transformers is 40 years old, starting from the But Thomas, the reason I wonder what they're cooking up for the next anniversary, guys. I know this sounds weird, but I wonder what they're cooking up for when the brand turns. I wonder what's going to happen when the brand turns 85. And I wonder what's going to happen when 85 going to happen. Because this year the franchise will turn 80. I wonder what's going to happen. Okay. 81, 82, 83, 84. So in 2030, we should be celebrating the franchise's 85 year. I don't want to make any prediction for the franchise's 85th, but I'm thinking one way or another we might get this. Yeah, I think because this tab, guys, has basically been untouched. Maybe I have an idea about when it could come out this year. Not. Let me then correct it by saying, I think the big stuff will come out later, like on October 9th of this year. And also, so I'm also going to tell you, I know that Britt Allcroft is sadly dead. She died back in 24, and yeah. Guys, the reason why I'm using the Military Railways instead of my usual maps. Guys, I really want to participate in this event today. This event. But maybe posters? I don't know. Guys, this map has only been decorated to celebrate the years of Thomas. I think coming up with the road vehicle. It seemed to be a problem. I was able to find out that you have to go to the lead mines, but I'm having a problem, and now I will probably be up this entire way. At least I found another one. Guys, randomly I found another one. be the last one. I'm definitely thinking it could be in the tunnel, which might become the Misty Island. When we ever get Misty Island in this game. I'm looking. You know what? I finally did it. Yay, I did it. And I got some guys. I'm thinking that apart. Yeah, we now have the Lost Down the Line pilot episode. Guys. Guys, this was the original model of Bo Thomas. I will show you at Tim and Sheds. For both the original Thomas and Gordon, and compare them to their model series counterpart. Compare them to. This is from the original pilot episode, guys. This is the original pilot version of Thomas, guys. And I'm gonna show you the original pilot version of Gordon. I bet they just use the same sound effect. Yeah. Now compare them to their regular series counterparts. Yeah. Guys. Yeah. Guys. And also. I don't have to play myself every time like Richard does. I'm really happy to congratulate my franchise. It's been a hard time. Everyone knows we got crazy death. And Wilbur knows that. Hey Wilbur, how does it feel to know that the franchise that the guy that we named it, that we were named after a guy that feels fantastic, Thomas. Feels fantastic. However, I am a little sad that our show ended before I was even on it. No. But look on the bright side. Alright, a lot of stuff. Look at the bright side, Wilbur. We got the little pilot episode of my show. I was even there when they filmed. They apparently used the toy wreck lead mine, which was relocated to that. First, been close for 50 since the mid 50s. Think about it. I wasn't even. Well, let's look at a special that celebrates the franchise's when we turn. Look. Look, I was. Thomas, why did you change colors? Oh, these colors are supposed to be representative of my beginning. Well, you know how I was really into black. Guys, continuity error is that Thomas was painted to A2 black. Was painted this color when he came to circle. Yeah. Like I said, I can go to break the new continuity because they had faulty memory. Gordon had faulty memory after the adventure begins, and he found that Thomas. Where's your number one? Where's your... Well, the reason why I'm wearing my livery today is I haven't asked Victor if I can get painted to my livery. One day, and we'll go back to number one, being blue and number one tomorrow. Yeah, I was this number when I came to Florida. You were this number when you came to Florida? You were this number when you came to Florida, Thomas? Indeed, I was. In fact, after I actually belong to Trinity Brothers. Guys, this is. I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna make this into an island short. Because yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely going to put this into an island short where Thomas. Yeah. Yeah, this. I'm going to tell you that story later. I'd rather be painted blue. Oh, I take it. Yeah. Hard to think about it. It's been 80 years since the beautiful Zero Series book and TV episode. I've seen them all. I've seen every special they've ever made, even though most of them are made up. Think of it. Ouch. Never doubt. Dude, think of it. Think of it. the Sharon Miller era was over already so we can move on to something. Uber, you know that this is my third time having a downfall, right, on my TV show? Third time? What was the first time? The Lincoln Mall seasons, which were God, which were that bad. I remember watching the first episode of season 8. I remember watching the first episode of the season, and I was pretty, well, I was pretty angry at the team. But as the show rolled on, I just had to accept the fact that my show would never be the same again. I saw only King and Rail. I only saw Blue Mountain Mystery and King and Rail's never being continuing seasons. And then I saw most of the Brenner season 17 to 21. I didn't like how they wrote Edward off, even though Edward's still here, but he's just at work. And then Bubba happened, and my show hit the fan in a way I never predicted it would. What was the end goal of the team? What was the end goal? But Christopher Aubrey moved away years ago. After Wilbur passed on, he moved away. I haven't seen Christopher Aubrey since then. Okay, guys, I might have to have Thomas tell you some that doesn't okay. Wilbur. Just think about it. Tell me a little bit more about your show. What? I knew that we have multiple dubs out there. Sorry, Wilbur. I never even watched an episode of my West dub. Why are you mentioning that? Because of what they called. Because someone from the U.S. came over saying how the fact that Wilbur was in the U.S. dub. And I hate to imagine what you would call. It was simply called the controller in the U.S. dub. Well, that's weird. Why is it called the controller? They really going to call him a name Sir Topham Hatt. And they really wanted to call him Sir Topham Hatt. They wanted to give him a more authority matter. So they called him the controller in the U.S. Wilbur. This kind of reminds me when I was filming the Thomas and the Magic Railroad. What? You were filming the Thomas and the Magic Railroad? Indeed, they weren't. Shine Time was thought. They thought that the props that were used were actually the props. Guess what? Most of the model work for the prop I know that even though I wasn't in the movie, really? Like, I made that up. I made that up. I wasn't there for... I wish I was there, but I made that up. I wasn't there for when they filmed that. You were not there, but yet you claim to be there. Why? Hey. Hey, Wilbur. It's the props. It's their props. Like, bullshit. Sorry guys, when I get angry I swear. I'm talking in that video and